Welcome back to My Hero Academia Anime Review, episode number 207. We're here reviewing episode number 146, Two Flashfires, and chapter 427 of the manga. This episode adapts from chapters 350 to 352. So in terms of collected books, this book is finished being adapted. And they're now starting this one. This is probably going to be the one that's going to take up several episodes of this season. Yes. There we go. And in case you're curious though, how many episodes are we in this particular season? I think the current head count is 8 out of 21. Yes. I do have this distinct theory that this season is going to be this season probably finishes the same time as it'll finish the same time as I'm thinking that's Time Occurrence of Slime, given the fact this season's we are currently, like I said, we're 8 episodes in. I think so, correct? Yeah. We're currently 8 episodes in, and we have 13 left. That Time Occurrence of Slime also has that much too, so excuse me, yes. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Before I continue here, those of you curious, am I planning on reviewing Faraday Century Quest? I am. I'm just waiting for the dub to come out for that one. And yes, I do know that Our Last Crusade of the Rise of a New World, the second season is premiering Wednesday. The same thing with that one. I'm going to wait for the dub to come out for that one. Then we'll talk about it. Okay? So, moving on from that. So, in this episode, focus clearly on Dabi versus Shudo in this episode. So, first we see the crazy doctor, who's basically the show's version of Dr. Robotnik. And he's talking about how Dabi got the way he is. So in this episode, in terms of the anime, we finally unveil what happened to Dabi, because how he got the way he is. So this has been shown in a flashback that Toya, that's Dabi's real name, where he inherited his father's quirk, except that for some reason the quirk was hurting him physically, causing him a lot of pain every time he used it. And he tried to impress his father, Endeavor, and wants him to watch him basically try to use the power. And he's like so worried. Like, he assumed for years that Toya was dead. He had no idea. So what had happened is they used he said, and then he apparently gets cold, so he just ignites his own flame, and his whole body catches on fire. And he gets put out thanks to falling into a nearby lake. There's like a fire everywhere. Endeavor looked everywhere around the whole frickin'. He mentioned early on, he looked everywhere in the entire forest. Like he combed the entire forest looking for his oldest son, but he couldn't find him. Now, he couldn't say, oh, maybe he went Ash. No, he just simply couldn't find him. He looked everywhere. And then this is also kind of like a manga too. So he wakes up, has an IV in him. His face looks a bit different. It looks like the way he does currently, except without the staples that we see across his near his eyes, his jawline, his hands. The staples are not seen. So apparently he's it's referred to as Sunny's Orphanage, which looks like a daycare kind of. And the girl who's there, don't know who this girl is. The manga doesn't identify who this girl is. She says that he's been asleep for 3 years. And first thing he notices, aside from his face probably look a little different, his voice is different. Now, because basically it's not the young version of the character. So, Jason Lovrigant is one who voices him, the present day version. The young version is voiced by Sarah Ragdale. I think it's pronounced her name. So, then of course he really wants to get out of there, wants to be with his family, and then he hears via audio, all for one. Doesn't like him, doesn't trust him. So he sets fire to the orphanage, and I read in this book here that they don't mention in the anime, but according to the writer, this is of course according to the writer of the series. His name is Koi Hiroshi. He says that according to the back of the manga, the anime doesn't explain this, the fire itself just burned the building, didn't burn it down, and nobody died. Nobody. Yeah. And of course they say that the heroes didn't know about it because it was very minor at best. And that's the explanation of why, basically, prior to this episode, probably no one ever heard of this fire, because it was not that big of an issue. And apparently, the owner got blamed for the fire, Mr. Sunny, who, for some reason, his face looks very much like Endeavor's. I don't know if that's basically an artistic choice. If you're curious, did he look like this in the manga? Yep, he did. It just that when you see his face, it looks... Yeah, he's a sunfire, but the way it's designed here, it's like basically the artist kind of did this on purpose, where it looks very similar to that of Endeavor. Yeah. So after he escapes, he basically is just walking through town, and then they explain in present day that apparently the doc did meet up with him, and like very close to his body. Now, we don't see this before. Apparently, Dabi he really wants to die so badly. Apparently, he's lost the will to live, so basically want everything to burn. So he arrives back at his home, and no one notices he's there. He just walks to the gate, walks inside the house, and sees Endeavor training with Shudo. A very physical training, to the point nearly burning his own son. The fact he was not a very good father to his youngest son. And Toya sees that as basically motivation to see. That's all he wanted. That's all he needed to see. And then he prays at his own memorial. And then he apparently, in present day, he apparently got his coat. Where he got the coat from, never explained. They do explain of why his skin looks the way he does. Apparently, it's a special graft created by the doctor of the show that it has healing properties. And according to him, that based on the injuries he received and the fact that apparently the fire burned out his freaking organs, they got new skin, that he had roughly a month to live. But yet somehow he managed to live for over 3 years. Somehow. Due to rage. Unlimited rage and hatred toward his own father. That's simply the reason for it. And we see Dabi in present day. You can see, look at the anime, his face is falling apart. Like you can see his full teeth. It's like there's also a piece of muscle hanging on his jaw, where there's like a hole there, and that's the only thing holding his jaw in place. That if those things snapped, he would stop talking. Yeah, and the fact that his arm is completely burnt again. Like he's like. Also, they do mention that apparently the fire that burned him, there is a thing in people's bodies called pain reciprocators. I think it's pronounced it. Or people can identify by nerve touch, like something is like very sharp and hurts you. Excuse me. This apparently make him feel like he was immortal. So you see him in the anime, and you're wondering like, based on his appearance, how is the man not screaming the fact his body's on fire? He can't feel it at all. He cannot feel pain at all. That's the reason why he's like that. So they also explain the origin of the Flashfire fist, Endeavor signature move. He apparently learned it very early in his career thanks to his training, and he basically learned his limits. Okay, fine. And then, of course, basically, he's like, then we also explain, there's also this X that where it's like where it's blue and red, and it's across the chest of Shudo. They do explain that apparently this is not a regular fire. It doesn't hurt anybody if you point at it. They show a flashback that Deku sees it, and it's apparently a new move to go with the Fire Fist, the Fire Flash Fist, and Dabi recognizes that he's a component for him. And there's even basically a phone call Shudo has with his father, thinking that he should switch teams. But he points out, though, he's the best person to handle Dabi, and like Shudo is, and he points to his father. He's who puts out the best challenge to all for one. He made some good points about that. I thought it was very interesting. We saw a bathhouse scene, though it's for the guys, sadly. I'm sure male viewers like, we're not going to show them for the girls? Fine, whatever. So, it's nice to see, in this episode, seeing flashback, we see my lady get some lines, and then we get some lines in present and flashback. Deku gets lines in flashback. I think Ochaku does too. Even Froppy. So the episode ends with Shudo doing this thing after he gets launched to a freaking skyscraper. He's able to get out of it and then do his own on Dabi, and he's somehow able to beat him right there and in the episode. By far a really good episode. Damn good. Now moving on to new chapter manga. Chapter 427. Who was Tomura Shigaraki really? Yeah, we go basically various talking heads of how much of a terrible person he is, and they're glad he's gone. And the thing is, nobody is mad at Deku for causing his death. The only person who's mad at him is Spinner. So we have a conversation between Spinner and Deku. And of course, Deku gives Spinner Shigaroki's last words. Even the better end, Tomura Shigaraki kept fighting to destroy. Shigaraki told you to say that? Yes, to you, Spinner. Me? And Dabi and Toga and Compress? No, only you. He points to Shining Hope. With a smile, he said he destroyed everything, transforming Deka into Crater. He represented me and my voice. I was oppressed. Basically, he praises him like he's a good friend of his. It's like he was his first friend. He was his hero. He even goes big. It's like he's on freaking steroids. So this is something that happened during the arc too. And he holds, but he doesn't exactly attack him per se. He just wanted to prove a point. And points out how terrible person he is. Like his first friend. He also said, Shogun told me he needed to be a hero to you all. The League of Villains has a special place in his heart. I'm sure you feel the same way you do about him. Which is why I think he wanted to let you know. Yeah. You a bunch and keep fighting, right? I'm going to write a book about Tomura's Shigaraki, the symbol of fear, of how the League of Villains lives to destroy, a book that will stick to heroes forever and ever. The past never dies. I'll spin the tale of Tomura. Make it a comic book. Huh? And don't worry, I won't ever forget. Well, he wouldn't because he fought him. He was the last person to fight Tomura before he died, and the fact he hates the man for nearly trying to kill him. Like, there was one time they were shopping at a mall, and Tomura nearly basically almost could have basically used his decay to basically just kill him. Because that's the kind of man he is. I got a message too. Tell your octopus pal to give life all he's got. Yep. And we see All Might in a wheelchair. That's the message. Yep. So, and then we have Overhaul talking to his former boss. He says to him, what a sorry state you're in. Boss, you're not supposed to have the coma. You mean what Cork did to me? Too bad for you. They're making huge strides with sports systems these days. And I hate your boss. The gang's gone, done and gone. Boss, I'd said never try a straight path. Now look at who you wanted up. I was there reaching out a guiding hand to teach you to heed down the wrong path. I'm guessing Chrono never talked back and took you to task. Sorry. Too little, too late. It's Eri who deserves a lifetime. You're sorry, however. Nah, that girl will go on forget all about you. But don't you dare forget what you put her through. And make no mistake, I will take your task till the day you go to hell. And then Deku talks to thanks Detective Tasaki. Can we stop? Make it all stop for good? I'll leave Nightmare. We got to lock down with armies with the heroes. What kind of power? Just joking. Yep. So, look sharp. Frowns, upside down people. The first years are joining our lessons so we can all speak how we doom and gloom around. We'll better see Heroes course. Apparently the first years are big fans of Class 1A. It's like, Totoro killed my God's enemy. Can I get your guys taken? I'm a huge fan. Let me think of stuff for you. You're so sweet. She was like, what on earth? And Baku's like, expel them all right now. And Deku was like, the first years are intense. No surprising. They're over like crazy at the school. Yeah, and they mentioned a couple chapters back, they're now senpai. Yeah, they now have juniors. Which, yeah. I did hear something online that that next month My Hero Academia manga will end. So that's the confirmation I've heard about it. That's what I've heard anyways. I don't know if it's really true or not. I have no idea. Would I be surprised to see the manga end? Oh yeah, definitely. I'd be sad to see it end. Yes. Now here's the thing about the current story arc. It has no name. That's kind of the weird thing about the post Final War chapters. It's just like they are an unnamed arc. And so far we've had 3 chapters released. Yeah, 3. Yeah. But this was a damn good episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Okay. So that's a pretty, and manga's really, the chapter's really good too. So this is pretty much it. Particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit the like button. Next up is going to be, well, more Magic Ranger. How far I get this tonight? Probably 3 episodes, maybe. Okay, maybe 4. Okay, next video. Bye.